Hello everyone, welcome on back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down for you how I fish a lipless crankbait. There's a little bit of a difference between a lipless and a standard crankbait. A standard crankbait has a bill that's going to be set to dive to a certain depth based on the size of the bill, the shape, and the angle. With a lipless, you can really fish it at any depth. You can fish it super shallow, you can fish it deep, just depending on how long you let it sink for. So it does give it a bit of versatility in that way. Now, as far as the gear that you want to use, I recommend either medium or a medium heavy, moderate action rod. I prefer a little bit faster reel than I would for a regular crankbait. I would say anywhere from a 6.8 to a 7.2 or 7.3 speed reel. I like to be able to burn it pretty quick in certain situations. Whereas a regular crankbait, I would typically use like a 6.4 to a 6.6 gear ratio. In this particular video, I am using a 7'2" medium heavy, moderate fast rod. I recommend anywhere from a 7 foot to a 7'5". Obviously, the longer rod that you have, the more casting distance that you're going to be able to get. And I do like to try to get a pretty long cast with the lipless. And in this video, I'm also running a 20-pound braid to a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. That fluorocarbon is virtually invisible under the water, so I like to have a little bit of a leader there in front of the braid, just in case I'm around finicky fish that tend to be line shy. That helps address that issue. So in the clips you're about to see, I'm mostly fishing over top of grass, around grass, and to the edge of some laydown type structure. Now with like a regular crankbait, you're typically going to be grinding that on bottom or bouncing that through the cover. With the lipless, it will get hung up a little bit more, so I kind of tend to fish that on kind of the outside edge or over the top of other cover, boulders, things like that. Alright, throwing this lipless here. I've got some grass about 2-3 foot below the surface, so I'm just kind of running this over the tops. Might let it fall a little bit until I can feel it just kind of tick that grass. Right there, just felt a little tick. Mostly I want to try to work this over this grass flat. Good thing with the lipless is you can really throw it at about any depth. This one's about a 1/2 ounce, so it's going to fall roughly a foot per second. If you know your general depth, you can kind of count that down to where you want it to be. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Got one coming over that grass. Get him up here. As you can see, went for that front treble, that red one. That's why we like to put those red trebles on these monster bass baits. It gives them a little extra target to go after. Okay, yeah. I was trying to talk instead of grabbing him. He's got it right where I normally want to grab him, but that's all right. We're going to get him on the side of the mouth here. There we go. There we go. Little guy, but he went after it. Real nice colors. Kind of dark in this darker water right now. There we go. Yeah, I thought we'd get one off that brush. Heck yeah. Again, that front red treble, they're keyed in on it. Ooh. Be careful with these little ones. They're the ones that'll try to stick you for sure. There we go. Little guy, probably about 1/2 pound, but came after it. I appreciate the bite, bud. Alright, so since our cloud cover's gone away and we've gotten a little bit more sunny, I'm going to go with something with a little bit more flash here, like this blue chrome. So I'm going to switch this up, get this tied on, and we'll see what we can get with this. Okay, everyone, we're back now, day 2. Our bite window kind of shut down, so I had to switch things up. But coming back today, it's a little more overcast, a little more gray. So instead of that shiny colored lure, I've got more of this kind of dull matte color in the Sexy Shad. Still throwing that same Incision 62 lipless from Monster Bass. So I'm going to give this a shot. I still think, working it over this grass flat area should still work for us today, but we're just going to change that color up a little bit, being that we got more of a kind of darker water or overcast conditions today. There we go. Got one. Get up here, bud. Near this timber and this structure. Thought that might be a good spot. Kind of bit it. Kind of casually, just kind of cruising along. Just kind of sucked it up. I gave him half a second and set the hook. Maybe I should have set the hook a bit sooner because it looks like he took it back kind of far, but they've been biting it kind of light like that, so yeah, back to the top of the mouth. I'm probably going to have to get the pliers out for this one. It's going to be a little hard to, oh, he's barely hooked, but yeah, just where it's at, I'm going to have to grab the pliers for that. As you see, he freaking choked it. There we go. That one feels a little better, maybe. About the same. You're just digging pretty good. Again, that almost looks the same as the last one. Again, this grass in this area, this overhanging brush that provides cover. It's a great spot to find bass. Especially with a nice lipless like this. Cast it out as far as you can. Use it as a search bait, kind of fan cast out. Across the way here we got some nice overhanging brush. I'm going to kind of toss it up that way and kind of work out from there. There we go. Got one. Feels a little better, maybe. He's running with it. Whew, he's fired up. Look at that. About the same size again. But caught him right under that little overhanging brush there. There we go. Appreciate the bite, bud. Get you back. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully you learned something there about fishing a lipless crankbait. Again, around grass and laydowns, that type of structure are some of my favorite areas to fish it. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the future content that I have coming out. I'm going to have all the gear and everything I use listed in the description down below. Most of those items can be found there on monsterbass.com. Make sure you subscribe to the Monster Bass channel as well for future tips and tricks like these. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the video, and I will see you on the next one.